Celestial Requiem. Barto. Shadows of Seraphis. Ren's fingers tightened around the Requiem starblade, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Vaelith's golden eyes glowed with an eerie light, his presence exuding an overwhelming force of celestial and void energy intertwined. Ren knew this would be unlike any battle he had faced before. Vaelith smirked. "You hesitate, boy. That sword does not belong in the hands of a coward." Before Ren could respond, Vaelith vanished. In a blink, a powerful force slammed into Ren's side, sending him crashing into a crumbling pillar. The ruins trembled from the sheer impact, dust clouding the battlefield. Ren groaned, struggling to rise. He barely had time to react as Vaelith appeared again, his dark blade descending in a lethal arc. Ren raised the Requiem starblade just in time, celestial sparks erupting as their weapons clashed, the shockwave sending ripples through the air. "You're slower than I expected," Vaelith taunted, pushing Ren back with inhuman strength. "Disappointing," Solaria chanted behind them, tracing ancient sigils in the air, attempting to summon a protective barrier. Kiro, his twin daggers glowing with ethereal energy, darted through the battlefield, engaging the duskborn warriors that surrounded them. The ruins of Seraphis were alive with battle cries, the sounds of metal against metal, and the eerie whispers of void magic creeping through the air like a living entity. Ren gritted his teeth. He couldn't afford to lose. The power of the Starblade surged through him, a wild and untamed force yearning to be unleashed. He took a deep breath and let go. A pulse of radiant energy exploded from his blade, sending Vaelith skidding back. The air crackled as Ren charged forward, his sword humming with newfound strength. He struck with relentless fury, his attacks no longer hesitant, but bold and precise. The ground beneath them cracked under the force of their battle, energy flaring in brilliant arcs of light and darkness. Vaelith's smirk vanished. "Now you're learning. But it won't be enough." With a flick of his wrist, the air around Vaelith darkened. The fallen Astral Guardian whispered something indecipherable, and shadows coiled around his form. The next moment, the battlefield-twisted Ren found himself standing in a void, stars flickering around him like dying embers. "A domain of darkness," Solaria gasped. "Ren, be careful," Vaelith's voice echoed, distorted and chilling. "Let me show you what true despair looks like." Echoes of the past Ren staggered, disoriented by the overwhelming darkness. He turned, gripping the star blade, scanning his surroundings. The ruins were gone. Kiro and Solaria had vanished. He stood alone in an endless abyss, the weight of an unseen force pressing down on him. Footsteps echoed in the distance. Ren tensed. A figure emerged from the void, cloaked in swirling shadows. As the figure stepped closer, Ren's breath hitched. It was his mother, or at least a twisted illusion of her. Her silver-white hair flowed like mist, and her sapphire eyes glowed with an unnatural hue. "Ren, my child, why do you fight?" Her voice was soft, yet laced with something sinister. Ren took a step back, shaking his head. "You're not real. This is Vaelith's trick." She reached out, her fingers brushing against his cheek. "Why struggle when you can rest? Surrender the Starblade, and all this pain will end." A surge of doubt crept into Ren's heart. He had spent his entire life fighting against fate, against his own weaknesses, against a destiny he barely understood. A part of him wanted to let go, to believe her words. But then he remembered Astralis burning. He remembered the screams of his people, the blood moon casting its ominous glow. He remembered the moment he first grasped the Starblade and felt the weight of something greater than himself. Ren clenched his fists. "No, I won't stop fighting." The illusion flickered, his mother's form distorted, her voice shifting into a guttural snarl. Then perish in the abyss. Dark tendrils shot toward him. Ren reacted on instinct, raising the Starblade. A blinding light erupted from the weapon, severing the shadows. The abyss trembled, cracks forming in the void. A voice deep and commanding rippled through the darkness. "Awaken, Starborn. The battle is far from over." And with that, the illusion shattered. The Skyborn's awakening, Ren gasped as reality snapped back into place. The battlefield reappeared around him, and he found himself back in the ruins of Seraphis. Vaelith standing before him with narrowed eyes. "You resisted the domain?" Vaelith muttered. "Interesting, but it changes nothing." Ren stood tall, the Starblade now pulsing with renewed energy. He had seen the truth. His power wasn't just a gift, it was a responsibility. The Guardians of old had sacrificed everything to seal the Eclipse Sovereign. Now it was his turn to fight. He pointed his blade at Vaelith. "I won't lose to you." Vaelith smirked, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his gaze. "Then show me, wielder of the Starblade. Show me you're worthy." With that, the two warriors clashed once more, their battle sending shockwaves through the ruins. But this time, Ren fought not as an outcast, but as the Skyborn warrior he was destined to be. The war for Eldoria had only just begun. The rising storm. As Ren fought with everything he had, Solaria and Kiro struggled against the Duskborn forces. Solaria's celestial barriers flickered, barely holding back the waves of enemies. Kiro, his movements a blur, struck down warriors left and right, but even he was beginning to falter. "Ren, we need to end this fast," Solaria called out, deflecting a shadow spear. Ren's heart pounded. If he didn't defeat Vaelith soon, they would all be overwhelmed. He tightened his grip on the Starblade. This was it. Summoning every ounce of his strength, he channeled the celestial energy within him. The blade responded, glowing brighter than ever before. He dashed forward, dodging Vaelith's strikes with newfound agility, his counterattacks swift and unrelenting. And then he saw his opening. With a final, determined cry, Ren unleashed a powerful celestial slash, cutting through the darkness. Vaelith staggered, blood trailing from his side. He grinned, wiping his lip. "Not bad, but this is far from over." Suddenly, a new presence emerged from the shadows, taller, more ominous. The air grew heavy as an unseen force filled the ruins. A deep, echoing voice rumbled through the battlefield. The Starborn's awakening, just as foretold. As Vaelith retreated, a cloaked figure stepped forward, an emissary of the Eclipse Sovereign. The true battle had yet to come, but this was only the beginning.